I want to put a full frame in here. I want a 12-inch round grate that's easy to take on and off, and that's key. We got just about 5 feet of room in here. We're not going to put any extra chamber on it. Now this is tied into some tiles right here. I want to keep our sump system tied into the tiles that are right here. So we're going to pull these pavers up. We're going to put a sump system in. Then we're going to have the cord run through some PVC under the brick and the discharge too. The discharge, just go ahead and run the flex line underneath the pavers. Don't even put it in PVC. It's so strong and so tough, nothing's going to happen to it. It expands if it freezes. Nothing can go wrong. Make sure it's on a slope and get it over here where we're going to have a 6-inch pipe. We're going to be feeding everything into a 6-inch pipe. This is an existing French drain that the homeowner did, and this was to get them through some hard times. We're going to replace it with a 6-inch discharge out to the backyard. I'll show you that in a minute. We're going to put in a 4-inch channel drain. We're going to get rid of this micro drain. We're going to cut the field on this side. I'm going to repeat that so no mistakes get made. We're cutting the field. Do not cut the soldier. So we're going to cut this so we can put in a 4-inch channel drain. You know, have the channel drain just a little lower than the brick pavers so the water can go in. This micro looks like it's a little too high. That might be some of the trouble they're having, but let's make sure the water just falls right into our channel drain. We'll bring some polymeric sand so we can put some polymeric sand along the edge. We're going to run this channel drain and we're going to tie it to a 6-inch main. So the 6-inch main is going to be for the 60-foot channel drain. It's going to be for our pump. Welcome to the French Drain Man channel. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood. I'm going to take you through a really cool job where we put a backyard sump pump system in along with a long run of channel drain. I'm going to explain to you what we did, how we installed it, and how we solved this problem. Now, when you have backyards with negative slope and all the water is going towards the house, you have to find a way to catch that water. When it's on a turf type application, our French drains work great. You see us do it all the time. You know, whether it's a covered French drain and it grows turf or whether it's an open French drain and it's just stone that the water falls through. But we have a lot of brick pavers in this backyard and we have negative slope. All the water's running towards the house. Now, the original install for this and the original solution and fix for this was a channel drain that was what is known in the industry as a micro drain. They're really small and they're really tiny. The idea is they're not too invasive to a beautiful landscape. But I have to be honest, in 35 years, I have yet to find a place that these really shine. I've yet to find a place to put these other than my dumpster. So I'm going to recommend, if you feel you need a channel drain of any kind to catch water, stay away from the micro drains because we tear out so many micro drains. There's so many of them that can't keep up with a heavy rain, and it doesn't take very much debris to stop a micro drain from working. So again, I'm going to encourage that you go with a full size, your regular full frame channel drain opposed to one of these little micro drains. This is just too small. It's really hard to ask the water to find this tiny little micro channel drain, and there's just really not a whole lot of surface area for intake. I want to increase the area of intake, so you go to a bigger channel drain to do that. Want to make sure that we flow the water. This is a very large backyard outdoor living space. It's a beautiful pool, you know, oasis type setup, and we are negative. The pool yard is taller on the opposite end because of the spa. The spa is built up. So you'll notice as we walk through this pool yard and you get to see the different angles that the hardscape and all the landscape is ran at, everything goes towards this house. So we're catching a crazy amount of water. Now the channel drain is going to be gravity. but we did have to put a sump pump system down at the bottom of the staircase. So I'll show you what that looked like when we installed that. It came out really clean. Now, anytime you see us using a 6-inch discharge, I want you to know that there's never been a 4-inch pipe that's as thick as a 6-inch pipe until now. So these are old video files that I just finally getting around to editing and showing you guys. But we now have a 4-inch pipe that is as thick as the Baughman Tile 6-inch pipe. And it's called the High Octane Armor Pipe. And it's a solid discharge pipe. And we'd much rather use that opposed to the giant 6-inch pipe that's so hard to work with. And it's also an added expense that now it can be a more budget-friendly install with a 4-inch high-octane solid armor pipe opposed to having to go up to a 6-inch. So the outdoor sump pump is in. We pulled up the pavers and we put it in place. I didn't want to bore you to tears. Plus, you couldn't really get any video on this because there was no room. There was a couple of guys down here working for a few hours and got that in place. It came out really, really nice. Any water that finds its way down that staircase, we're now going to lift with our outdoor sump pump system, and we're going to dump that water into this discharge. This discharge, we just take it around and down to where the grade breaks on the other side of the pool yard. Once you get to where the yard is falling and you have all this drop, all this fall, you now can empty that discharge line and it won't hold any water. So people always ask, how far do you go with the discharge line? Well, as far as you need to go is the right answer. If you only run it to where you have a few inches of fall, you're always going to hold water. If you run it to where you have 18 inches of fall, you're never going to hold water. Water always seeks level, guys. Water's always level. Keep that in mind. So in a drain system, try to picture that. If you have a trench that goes from one side of the yard to the other, if it's level and it doesn't have fall, then it's always going to hold water. I see a lot of drainage systems that are built and they're not built to drain. And if you run into a situation like that, well, you just put a sump pump in to pump the water up and out of your French drain system or your yard drain system. So the guys are doing a really good job. We're going to have this channel drain a little below the brick pavers. The reason why I want them below the brick pavers, we want the water to fall in. Now, we're building in the north. We're here in Michigan, building in the north. So we want to make sure that when the frost heaves this channel drain and lifts it, it's still going to catch water. And the only way we can be reassured that it's still going to catch water in a scenario like that, where you have frost that raises the channel drain, you want to make sure you leave it a little low. So that is what we have done. Now, when we thaw out in the spring and the channel drain sets back down in place, it never goes as low as it once was. Keep that in mind. So you definitely want to make sure you leave a channel drain a little lower. All right, guys, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found this video helpful. And as always, until that next video.